I'm Mathieu Borsboom. I'm a Vice Admiral, retired, former Commander of the Navy, and I'm here as President of the Apostolate Military International. Well, the Apostolate Military International is a lay Catholic military organization which was established some years after the Second World War. It started with European countries, former enemies, and then it spread over the world.
It is an initiative by Catholics in the military from different countries from around the world to provide mutual support and to evangelize, do the work of the gospel in the military. Being a military, it's actually carrying a sword, and as a Catholic, it's carrying the Bible. So it's both of those. So what does it mean? What does it mean for you as a person? What does it mean for your family? What does it mean for your fellow man, your fellow military, but also for your defense forces and for your country?
So our main purpose is to strengthen values within armed forces, and this is what we do.
My faith is something that is deeply held with me. It gives me two things primarily. I feel it gives me a hope and it gives me a moral grounding.
For me, of course, it's part of my job because I work as a chaplain, so it's my job also to discuss religious questions with veterans and military personnel. And for myself, of course, the faith is important because it motivates me to do my work.
In order to experience God and Jesus Christ, of course, in my military life, the main is to recognize Him in the neighbor. You do not consider your enemy to destroy your enemy, but rather than you consider your enemy as a human person.
It is the basic of my work. It is the basic, especially in missions abroad, and it supports me in my duty every day.
I live out my faith in my military context in the same way as I would expect any Catholic to live out their faith in their work environment. It's part of our life. We bring our faith to all parts of our life, ourselves, our families, our friends, our work environment.
I try to be witness, as I said, especially for the soldiers. The soldiers need a lot of encouragement. They need a lot of strength in their faith because there's a lot of things that come in as they serve in the military.
Yeah, for me as a chaplain it's easy because it's on my beret, it's on my uniform, so people know I'm a Roman Catholic and they can address questions on me about that topic.
I try my best to be an example so that, and they live their life as military personnel, they can also be able to live that example of a Christian calling.
Oh, well, it's always marvellous to meet with military from other nations, and even better when we all share a common faith and common interest in that faith and how we can better profess it and evangelise it throughout all of our militaries.
With the AMI conference, as I said earlier, the idea that faith transcends borders. So by bringing both clergy and lay members of various countries' armed forces together, it allows us to actually see this transcendence in a real setting.
I think we can learn from things that we all try. In all of our countries, we try different initiatives. We see what works, we see what doesn't work, and I think the sharing of those ideas is very, very helpful. I think there are perhaps the more theological, more philosophical questions. What does it mean to be an organisation or people of faith working in environments which may be far more secular? And how do we work effectively in those environments? That is an ongoing process, it's an ongoing conversation.
The British Armed Forces have been involved in two medium-scale operations for until very recently in Iraq and Afghanistan. So we're very conscious of PTSD in the British Armed Forces.
Where you do come across it, I think you need to ensure that it's identified for what it is, not ignored and taken seriously, and to give a vocabulary around it so we understand how to talk about it and talk about it in a way which is helpful and not just simply telling people to get over it and to man up. That's very, very unhelpful. These are seriously traumatic experiences that people have had.
So we made an app, the Catholic Military Connect app. In that app we have a spiritual first aid button, and that's specifically for these topics, so that you recognize symptoms of this with yourself, but also with your buddies.
They are friends, they are young people, and when they come back we need to help them, because PTSD and moral injury is something that can be able to escalate to the family. It affects even the person who was not in the combat, because whenever a person in the society, even if it's a sickness, it will affect the person who is not sick.